Monday, I woke up today at 1:20 p.m. That's strange. It's a school day. Was it spring break? No, that was a month ago. I couldn't hear a peep. The house was silent, so I got dressed and went downstairs to investigate. I found Roderick laying on the couch. He looked really bad. I called his name and he jumped. He said he thought he was the only one here. I asked him what happened. He said that these monsters came and killed Mom, Dad, and Mandy. Roderick hid in his room and the monsters were left. I told him he must be lying and that it was a prank, but he started getting aggressive and telling me it was not. Listen here, Greg, you have to believe everything I'm telling you right now. There's monsters everywhere. I mean, monsters killing my family? So I asked Roderick where everyone was, and he said that they were killed again. He then dragged me to the kitchen where Manny's head lay on the floor. I screamed. He was telling the truth. Though I can't say I was too sad to see what happened to that little demon. I stood in shock for a few moments before Roderick joined me. I asked him where Mom and Dad's bodies were. He wasn't sure but thought they must have been eaten by something. I was still hoping this was some kind of sick prank. So I asked Roderick to describe these creatures. So they're black, they're massive, and they look like a dinosaur, bro. He said they were absolutely horrifying for black gooey body that could morph and they could extend their limbs to grab people. On their face they had a devilish grin with incredibly sharp and jagged teeth, and they had a long black tongue that hissed quietly as they walked. I wanted to know more, but Roderick was shaking. I hit my head against my hands, trying to wake up from this nightmare, but it was no use. A decapitated head laid on the floor, inches away from me, and a trail of blood led to the front door. Sure enough, there was a gaping hole in the front door. Roderick told me to get wood from the basement to patch it up a bit. So as he did that, I reluctantly grabbed Manny's head using Dad's barbecue tongs and threw it into the bushes outside. Not exactly the most respectful send-off, but I was not going to carry it around like a football. Roderick told me it was dangerous to go outside as the monsters were probably roaming around. Me and Roderick spent most of the day boarding up the windows with wood. So if a monster did come in, it would be difficult for them to enter. Other than that, I didn't know what to do. I made some cereal at 7:30 p.m. and decided to see if the monsters were on the news, but the TV wasn't working. Roderick said it was probably because the monsters took out the power or something. I don't really know how to feel about any of this. I mean, monsters killed most of my family. Man, it's crazy. I also kind of feel like I'm in some weird dream. At least I hope I am. I'm exhausted, though. My body's heavy. I'm starting to feel sleepy, like I could just drift off right there on the couch. Maybe the monster won't find us if we stay quiet enough. I'll just sleep for a bit and hope when I wake up, this is all just some bad dream. Tuesday, I woke up feeling sick to my stomach. Like everything was just wrong. The house was too quiet, too empty. For a second, I expected Dad to storm in and yell at me for being lazy, telling me to stop slacking off, but he didn't. It felt weird, almost like the silence was louder than his voice ever would be. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, not knowing what to do next. Roderick came in looking like he hadn't slept in days. He didn't say much, but he managed to weakly tell me to pack my things as we were leaving Plainview. I didn't argue with him, but I wondered just where we were going to go. I got up to start packing and whatnot when a noise made me and Roderick completely freeze. The doorbell was ringing. We looked at each other and shared the same thought. Monster. I geared up and was ready to face the thing. The ringing had soon turned into a full-blown knocking. Each step I took, the pounding got louder and louder and harder, causing the wood we had nailed down to fall off, showing our poor craftsmanship, as well as revealing the huge hole. My hand trembled as it reached for the door handle. With the little power I had, I slowly pulled the door open, awaiting my inevitable death. Greg? It was Rowley. I immediately dropped my bat. I'd forgotten all about Rowley since the whole thing started. How could I? My best friend. And I'd even think to go check up on him. There may be monsters, but still. But boy did Rowley look scared. His hand was clutching his arm. He said that his father kept for work the day the monsters came but never returned. His mother tried looking for survivors and went outside with Rowley alongside her. And the monster jumped out of nowhere and mauled her to death. The monster managed to claw at Rowley's arm before he hit it on the head with a trash can, knocking it out. I quickly brought him inside and gave him the plaster and told Roderick to find some wood. Rowley asked if I had seen the monsters, and I realised that I actually hadn't seen any yet. Roderick said we'd have to leave tomorrow as he couldn't find the keys for his van. Rowley agreed to come with us as well. Well, he had nobody else. Rowley and I decided to hit the hay as we're leaving early in the morning. We decided to sleep in the basement to feel safer. The two of us couldn't sleep as we could hear some hissing all night, though it was probably the malfunctioning boiler. but we were still petrified and thinking the monster was going to jump at us at any second. Wednesday, before we knew it, Roderick came down and told us he'd found the keys for the van as well as Dad's gun. I never even knew he owned one. As I was eating breakfast, basically just pieces of bubblegum Roderick found in his pocket, another knock came on the door. I peeked through the window and saw Fregley, and there was no way I was going to let that thing come with us, so I waited until we left. Kind of felt bad for him, but he would only mess things up, so he's going to have to make his own way through the apocalypse. We packed our bags with essentials like toilet paper and mouthwash before getting in the van. Roderick didn't turn on the radio like he normally does, however. He hasn't been the same since he saw those monsters. Part of me wants the over-the-top rock and roll Roderick back, words I never thought I'd utter. And then we were off, Roderick in front, me and Rowley in the back. For a while we just drove. Me and Rowley had no clue where Roderick was going, but we didn't want to ask. Roderick had hardly spoken a while. Rowley sat in a corner, clutching a photo of his parents to his chest. I sat pondering, where did these monsters come from? Then the van came to a screeching halt. Roderick screamed and started hyperventilating, fumbling for the gun in his bag. Me and Rowley ran to the front to see what was going on. Oh my goodness, oh my gosh. Okay, it's just standing there. Somebody help, I'm running as fast as I can. End of chapter 1, to be continued.